Hey everyone, welcome. It's Jav here. It's lovely to have your company. Thank you for joining me today. It's the 21st of July, 2020. Hope you guys are safe and well, and I'm wishing you all guys the best. I'm just doing a quick kind of introduction because this video is part 2 of the how to create your list note archive journal. So that's what this video is about, but what I wanted to let you know is part 3 and final installment of your gift giveaway is now available, so please go to the description box for all those who are my subscribers. So this is for my subscribers only, so if you're new here, welcome, but please subscribe so that you can enjoy the gift giveaway too. That's all I ask. So yeah, description box, download these and then come back and I'll be showing you how to put and construct this whole kind of thing together. The covers won't be shown as yet, that will be coming, so I'm splitting it up into a few parts. So please stay tuned for the video tutorial that will be coming now. And of course, when I upload the next ones, you'll be able to get an idea of how this is all put together. So thank you everyone. Thank you for your beautiful support and your thank yous. They're so appreciated. And thanks for waiting for me to get back to you with either a heart or a little message of appreciation. Yeah, you guys have been so amazing. Thank you. Of course, remember in the description box, installment 3 is available. The final one. I hope you like it. The tutorial, part 2 of this tutorial is coming now. Bye. So I just wanted to slot this video in, but before we get into the tutorials, I just wanted to explain a little bit about the videos that you're going to be seeing. Now, I just wanted to give you a backstory. So when I created these, this was just a prototype. I created it basically for myself and I threw it together. So back in the end of January, I was throwing together my first one, and then in the middle of February, and that's how slow things happen at my end, I was making the second one, but feeling a little bit more confident, but still throwing it together. And in the end, I decided, hey, you know, if this is helping me out, why not make this available for others? And that's when these label kind of things were kind of came into being, because I wanted to say thank you to all my new subscribers. Then the coronavirus hit, and then the digitals became more and more involved, because I wanted to you know, spread some compassionate share. So what you're actually seeing, these ones here, like I said, were my prototype, filmed back in the end of January, and the other one was middle of February. However, where I was actually filming it at the time, it wasn't in this setup now. This setup is kind of more recent times, most likely since March or maybe even May. I can't remember my days, unfortunately, but eventually I came into this room because I find the lighting is much more improved. I don't have a great camera by any means. Unfortunately, there's some defects in there, so sometimes you might see some, you know, big blobs on plain paper. But the camera is a lot better than the ones that I've had previously. But for some reason, this camera cannot deal very well with me filming in the other room, my official craft room. And that's where I've done a lot of my tutorials in. And so when I go to edit those tutorials, I'm so disheartened and disappointed, because I just feel the quality isn't up to scratch. It's very grainy, and in some instances kind of got a blurry feel to it. Very, yeah, the lighting is shocking. So that's why I've moved into here. So when I was going in for editing the particular videos, because I've got these already filmed, and in fact, if you're interested, I have sped up without any talking. I've actually sped up the process of these, my original process. I've sped it up, and I've put music to it. So what I'm trying to say is that you'll still get to see those that were done back then, but as I said, the quality isn't the best. So what I ended up doing was, because I was so disappointed with the quality, and I just thought it's just not fair to my subscribers, how about I just make up another lot. So basically I've redone those videos in the sense that I've done some new ones. So nothing has changed. You're still going to be getting exactly the same thing that I have made. So I think part 3 will be dealing with the flip outs, or one of the flip outs, but you're just going to get the bare bones today. You're just going to get how we make this page, how we make this page, and how we attach it together. That's what I'll be showing you today. And but there'll be a sped up version of the original if you want to see at the end. I just wanted to explain that my original videos I didn't feel are up to good quality standard, so I'm going to be redoing it in this setup. That's what you'll be seeing, a redoing of it. But if you want to see the process kind of from go to woe, then please watch on to the end of the video. So please join me as I show you how to put the bones and the bones of this together. I know this hasn't been inked up, don't worry, I do show you how to ink things up if you're new to this. For those of you that are experts at making journals, I mean, this is just, you know, the most rudimentary, simple, basic thing. I'm sure you guys will come up with your own inventions of, you know, adding more character to it. But I wanted to start at a level for everyone so that everyone can have an opportunity to enjoy this tutorial that has been specifically designed for the gift giveaway papers. So if you go into the description box below, you'll get part 3, which is the final installment. So I hope you enjoy those papers. But thank you everyone for joining me. Please stay, don't go away. The video for how we put some of these papers together is coming right now. I'll see you soon. If you've just joined me here, this will probably be a part 2. You may want to watch part 1 because I go through the types of paper, your printing, everything you're going to need for the whole structure of this tutorial. So I don't know how long these tutorials are going to go, but I'm going to be sharing everything that I've done to the best of my ability, so that you can share the process with me. Alright everyone, so I'll be using white paper again. It's just easier. There might be some markings around here because my camera has had a few little accidents. So if you see any kind of spots, that's just from my camera. I think there's a real big one there. Oh my goodness, it's really big, isn't it? That's disappointing. Anyway, I hope it's not too distracting for you. So there's some imperfections in the camera, so I apologize for that. So it's got nothing to do with what's printed on here, so please excuse that if it's distracting. Okay, so when it comes to the actual structure, the bare bones, you're basically going to be using, so you'll need to see my part 1 video of this. If you don't know, if you haven't seen it, I'll put in the description box. You really do need that one. So basically what you're doing is you're going to be using this as a hinge. So for example, you might choose to have the front of your the front of it and the back of it. You might choose to do the cardstock there, but the rest of it could just be like this. However, what I do caution you on is that maybe in your centerpiece you make something like this for the center. So you need to know how many categories you're going to need so that for your lists to go in their categories. And the reason why I'm suggesting something like this, or that has reinforcements or washi tape or masking tape that you've painted up, or fabric, is because when you put this into your hardcover with the elastic or twine, it can cause indentation, and the wear and tear afterwards could really compromise the structure of your you know, archiving list maker. So so I would recommend, if you just only want to make all your pages so that it's not kind of bulky with cardstock, but have them all nice and you know, streamlined with just these guys, because this gets covered, by the way, just remember that, then go right ahead. But what I would recommend, just to protect it, a cardstock, something like this at the front, or you may just want to have it like this at the front, one at the back and one in the center that's very similar to this. Or you can make, as I showed you in part 1, you can make a kind of like a dashboard in reverse, or a writing board that's a little bit higher, that's a little bit firmer, that can stick in the center, and then you can pull it out wherever you want and use it if required. Okay, so it's totally your choice of how to go about it. So once you know your measurements, because you can make this longer than 22, so say you've got an envelope that's a bit longer, then that will decide your pocket lengths and your paper lengths. So if you've got one thing that you can have a base, then go for it. Now in the other one that I made, because I was doing it as a prototype to begin with, my papers are not kind of exactly the same size, like as you can see here. You know, like this is sort of peeking out over the top, and what have you. That's fine, because look, it is supposed to be a junk journal-y kind of thing anyway, so don't feel worried. But if you are one of those people that likes to have things looking neat and tidy, then by all means, you know, go in and do it precisely in the same vein. Okay, so you're going to decide on how many of these you're going to need, which will decide on how many papers you're going to need. Now, if you're wondering about this, I think this is We Are Memories Keeper. It's got centimeters, but it's also got inches on this side here. So, oh, here we go. There we go. It's We Are Memory Keepers. Voiceover. I don't know what happened to my footage, but you're missing out on how I'm scoring this. But I'm scoring this at 22 centimeters, in other words 3 inches from the bottom in this direction, as you can see. So that's what I've done. I've scored it at 22 centimeters, and it'll be folded up to make the pocket. I got distracted. I got a phone call and it took me on a different tangent, so now I'm back here again to continue on with this. So yeah, so all you really need, the bones of this, is you're going to get your envelopes, you're going to tuck one of them inside here, and you can definitely glue that down if you prefer to just stick it down with what's already there. And then that's going to go in here. This is where you have to decide on what kind of papers you're going to be using. I'm just using white just for the sake of this tutorial. So now it's just a matter of folding it in half. Okay. Okay, so now it's just a matter of inking up just these ones, and then I'll glue everything together. So I'll just do that, and most likely I'll just be fast forwarding it. Now obviously some of this doesn't have to be done, so where it really needs to be done is not on that side, but more on the inside. I think I'll go with... Okay, so I've got here potting soil and coffee. I really like these ones. There's a number that I like, number of them, which I will be showing you anyway in one of the tutorials that I previously have done. So you're just going to focus on the inside of this. Okay, let's just put that down here. You don't have to ink your pages if you don't want to. You might have them already coffee stained, or you might have printed out some of my papers and using them for this. So it is totally your preference. And now we're going to be gluing. So this won't really be seen, except this bit here. So that's how I'll be doing mine. So I'm just going to ink these bits here. So if you decide not to have any side pockets or top loading pockets, then these can be glued together. You don't have to ink these up if you don't want to. Okay, so let's get some gluing happening. Okay, so it really does help if you can use any glue that you like, that you feel confident with. So this is the glue. It's art glitter glue, and it's excellent because I like the way it glues, but also how it has that fine nib. Now I haven't used this for a while, so let's see how we go. So basically, you don't have to go to these lengths, and in fact you could easily use, in this instance, just this kind of glue if you wanted to. So, oh, where's my other one gone? Here. Okay, and you can also use a glue stick in this instance, but you'll have to take this off first, obviously. But if you want to make sure it stays down, you'll just want to get it in. Oops. Okay, a bit too much glue there, but that's okay. And just get it right in here. Bit a bit fiddly. And now I can put this one in that way. So you don't have to be as heavy-handed as I am with my glue. It's just, yeah, it's just one of those things. Okay, so this glue is a bit silly. Okay, so oops. So you might just want to turn it around this way just to make sure it's just nicely lined up. And you might want to glue this down if you want to, just to make sure when you're putting anything in here it doesn't get sort of stuck. But it will be covered anyway. And then on the other side, we just will run a bead just along here. Oh dear. Okay, so I've just been having a bit of glue trouble, as you can see. So you wouldn't be putting as much glue as I have. It just has just been uncooperative. Okay, so remember this is the A4 sheet that I was telling you about. So now we're going to put this together. And okay, so you just want a thin bead along here. Okay. Oops. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this all down. So because this is a little bit shorter, right, this paper is a bit shorter than that, what you can do is ink the edges if you're using white or just something that you would like to kind of jazz up a little bit. So this is my coffee one. But if if you're using coffee or tea dye, you won't need to do this at all, unless you want to, you know. Okay, so just needs a little bit down there. So it's just a matter of lining this up and gluing the whole thing down. And then these are going to be attached to the other one. So you can make all of your papers this way. I mean, all of your signatures this way. If you would prefer something a lot lighter. But as I said before, you want to make sure that the front and the back and the center have something a little bit sturdier, just to keep it kind of protected. Yeah. Alright, so let's do that then, and I'm just using this glue. Okay, so let's do this, guys. Let's do this. So I don't mind it getting on there, so if you're wondering, it's this one here, Yoo-hoo stick, made in Germany, strong and fast, and it's pretty good indeed. Alright, so all I'm doing is just making sure that this is aligned equally. And there we have it. So yeah, so you want to be a little bit light-handed with the glue. I'm a bit heavy-handed. That's why you've got the ripples there. But that will get covered up anyway. So if you're too worried about that, but this will actually be connected. It's going to be covered up. Let me just show you what I mean. So, where are we? Okay. So you never really get to see it because there it is. So this one is a top loading one here, and this one is side. Alright, so that's what that looks like. And that's why if you can ink inside is best. And that's basically what connects this to here. So these get connected, okay, which you'll see in the video. So just make sure you've glued it well. This one's a little bit crooked actually. Why is it crooked? So it's a bit off. Yeah, sometimes you wonder, maybe I didn't cut it straight. Anyway, I'm not going to worry too much. It's mainly for demonstration purposes. So you just want to get this glue down really, really well. And there's one of the pages done. And you can always go in with a ruler just to stop it from creeping in. And there's your pockets there, and of course this and this will get connected to our next piece, which is this. So let's just do that one together as well. Alright, so you have the bones. This is the bones of it. The hinging, this is what we hinge everything together with. So you can do all of that like this, or you can have one like this and one with cardstock. So now I'm going to do this one again. So remember, it was 3 inches that you want to do your score line on. Oops. Or approximately 3. You can go a little bit over and a little bit under. So I'm going to So it's basically just remember you want to make sure you're scoring on up this way 3 inches, but for me, because it's easier to do it this way, I'm just going for 22 centimeters along this way. Okie dokie, beautiful. Okay, so now that should be the same, basically the same. Right, and then again you're going to do exactly the same as you did with this. Remember, we did the A4, so this is A4 cardstock like I've explained in part 1, and you're going to fold it this way. Let's fold this up a little bit better. Make sure. Okay. Alright, so like I said, you do not need cardstock. If you don't want to use cardstock, you don't have to. However, I do recommend that in the center of your signatures, when you're creating your categories archive, like in here, you would want to make sure you have cardstock, or have it so that it's set out like that, just to protect the center, because there's going to be a bit of wear and tear if you're putting it in a Midori Fedori. Yeah, and cardstock will bulk it up, whereas these papers will not bulk it up. And you don't have to have hard, cardstock on the front or at the back. But I kind of think it's a good idea. It will last longer. It'll give it more durability. And then the rest of it can be just these, stuck together. Okay, so now let's do this. So you don't have to ink this up, as I said. This is just a personal preference thing, whatever suits you, because these are going to get covered up anyway with our papers from the gift giveaway. Papers have been designed to sort of fit into this kind of dimension. You'll be seeing me play this whole thing out again, for those of you that want to follow along. Oh yeah, you want to kind of decorate in there too. Alright, so just get your glue again. Yeah, I'm not doing well with my straight lines. So you want to make sure you get a thin bead of glue. So just be very careful. I'm just rushing along here for the sake of the video, but just be mindful that you want to have it close to the edge. So what I do is I go in the center, and then I fold out that way, and then I fold out that way. This way, that way, and this way. And then, okay. So remember that this is your connector. This is how you connect everything. And the thing is, the envelope will be a little bit larger if you're using the same dimensions as me. If that's not going to cut it for you, then you can always trim it off. You can always trim it off. But just remember, you would need to make sure you've glued it down. Yeah, but I don't mind it being a little bit that way, because for me, it shows me where I can create my pockets, and it's easy to get to things. So I don't mind it jutting out a bit. Okay, so that will mean we will need to do this. So let's just throw them over there. just grab. So that's just from the little bits and pieces that come off and then I rub on there. That's what that is. So that's not going to get seen anyway. Alright, so now these are ready. Okay, and just make sure they're up the right way. Yeah, okay. So like I said, this is just a very rudimentary way of putting something together, but it's more about its practical purposes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the shorter bit rather than the longer bit. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to decide whether I want this just glued together completely. And if that's the case, I would be most likely using this, glued together completely. Or do I want a top loading pocket, or do I want a side pocket? That's what I've got to decide. Do I want a side pocket or a top loading? So I'm going to go with a side pocket in this instance. So if it's a side pocket, that means that we're going to be gluing all the way around here. So let's do that. Right. So it's going to be a side pocket. So now you want to make sure that everything lines up nicely. So that would be the best way to do it. And then because you want to make sure it's nice and aligned on the spine there. So that's all you would need to do, is make sure it's lying flat, and then you can clip it in where it needs to glue. And then, yeah, I like using clothes pegs. I think they're pretty cool. Alright, so there's that. That's done. So now what we want to do is we want to create these flip outs. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to stop the video right here. It's become quite long, and I will make this flip out tutorial available in part 3 of an upload that will be coming soon, so please look out for that in my YouTube channel. So this flip out, I'll teach you how to make that in part 3 of the series of videos. But now please stay tuned for the sped up version of the tutorial that I showed you today, but you'll be seeing it when I filmed it back in the end of January and in the middle of February. It's just a sped up one so that you can see the process from start to finish.
creating a top loading pocket, and that's how this page is attached to the hinge envelope paper combination, as you'll see. So that's how we create our top loading pocket. And that means you can put tags at the top, you can put little notepads at the top. And now what we're doing is we're doing a side loading pocket, and that's how you attach the side loading pocket onto the envelope paper hinge. You don't have to do these are optional, you can just glue them back to back, but if you want some extra pockets, that's the way we go about it. So you want to make sure everything's glued down, and make sure your spine is as much aligned as possible. That's what I'm checking here. This has been roughly put together because it's a prototype. What I'm doing now is I'm creating double pockets. That's why I've got the glue in the center, just for you know, a bit of a variety of pockets, just to make it a bit more interesting, I guess. So it's just a double side pocket, I should say.
Please go to the description box for the last installment of the thank you gift giveaway for part 3, the installment for part 3. So go into the description box to get the part 3 papers are available. Okay, thank you everyone, take care, and I'll see you guys around. Bye.